Well, everyone. Welcome to Wallaby Tier 4 stream. Round 2 in Texas, Austin, Texas, in the United States. One of 3 rounds that the US now has in Formula 1. Second one will be coming up in Miami shortly, but we're in qualifying now. 16 minutes and 45 seconds left. We've got 2 drivers on outlaps, and that'll be Gumbo Kebab, who is being dropped from Tier 3 and being trialled in Tier 4 at the moment. So he'll be one to keep an eye on, see how he does, see if he dominates, see if he doesn't. Matty Skills with a point to prove. He's really wanting to win a race this season. He's really wanting to win the championship this season. As it stands, Red Bull currently lead the overall Constructors' Championship by 10 points, followed by Alpine, I think it is. So far it's been close. I think every team's had a decent start. Everyone's picked up some points. So round 2 of, I don't even know how many rounds it is this season. I think it's like 16, 18. But it's a shorter season than last season. And we got a lot of drivers with a point to prove, and obviously an extra tier this season. Tier 4 tonight. So an extra tier. Used to be 3 tiers. A lot of drivers, a lot of work put in, especially by Magic Shot and Goffey, Magic has done everything for the stream. But here we have Gumbo on a lap now. First lap of Tier 4 round 2 in Texas. Jump on board with him. He's coming through the S's now. He drops a 6, he hits the brakes early. Obviously just looking to get a banker lap in for his first outing in Tier 4. Doesn't want to crash out immediately. Looks pretty tame at the moment, pretty smooth, as we have a Haas moving out of the way. Missed the apex completely. He's got on the marbles, but he's coming down the back DRS straight. It's very cloudy. You never know in Texas whether you'll get rain or not, so it's like that with the fewer trucks we have on the calendar. So you come into this corner, you're supposed to really cut that as much as possible, as you don't really get a track limits penalty for it. Hard acceleration zone, it's very difficult to get right. Backhand can kick out very easily. When you hit that apex, it's also very easy to spin there. This is 3 apexes on this corner. It's a very, very long corner. As you come to the second last corner, trying to use all the track. He doesn't. It's just a very tame first lap. Cut the corner as much as possible. Power to the finish line. And did he invalidate? I haven't got the track map up. He did invalidate. So that will not be a lap set. But Matty's skills now. 15% battery, coming around the second last corner. That's come around the final corner. Let's see what time he posts, as this will be the first timed lap of Tier 4 tonight, and it's a 1:34.2 to start off with. So we've got faster, we've got a Red Bull around the final corner now. Just set his lap. Power to the line, it's going to be a 1:34.8, so Matty's got new champ by 0.6 of a second. And then we have a McLaren coming around the final corner on his lap, finishing it off, taking it very slow. He's had a snap there, and he settles into P3. It's not been a great lap for him with a 1:37.2. Ferrari starting his lap. Little Casper, followed by Zachary, moving into P3 and 4 respectively. Moving next across the line, Belzy, but he's on an outlap. So Gumbo's he gone for another lap? No, he hasn't. We have a Haas coming up fast in the final sector. Not this one. God, where is it? Bomb on an outlap. And then will be Dark Phoenix coming around the final corner. Let's see what kind of time he sets, and he goes into P3 with a 1:35.2, 4/10 slower his teammate. Looks like there'll be a Mercedes next up. If I can... It'll be Kirko still in the pit, so Matty's just moving out of the way for the Red Bull behind. That'll be new champ. Zachary followed by him. It'll be a Ferrari next. Meowcat just going slowly. He is on a lap. I think he's only used 50% of his battery, so I'm not sure if he's had a bad lap or not. Curtis has redeemed hot lap request, so an AlphaTauri. Any AlphaTauri, Curtis? Here we go, we got some nuts around the final corner. I'll let you guys pay attention to this lap. Rounds the final corner. He goes up to P9 with a 1:36.0. Shillo, I have seen your request for the Cub. He's just finished, or he's turned his battery off. I reckon he's going to duck into the pits. So as it stands, we've got Matty Skills still in P1 with a 1:34.2. M-Bomb close behind. New champ not so far behind him, and then another Red Bull with Dark Phoenix. Cub sitting in P5, he has ducked into the pits. Meowcat right now, he is on a lap. I think he is on a lap, yes. Casper on an out lap. Zachary, who's got 6% battery, I can't imagine him going any faster. So a lot of people just heading into the pits now. Lucky he's nearly had a spin on his outlap after getting on those marbles. Gumbo Kapab, he wants to set a lap, but he's just invalidated his second lap. And we've got a hot lap request for Paulie, who is coming out of the pits now. Don't let me forget about the carb either. So I'll get to Paulie when he finishes his outlap. Meowcat's about to finish his lap. Is it going to be an improvement? It is going to be an improvement by 1 place. It's sitting on a 35.2 now. So we've got Dark Phoenix and Meowcat both sitting on 35.2s. We still have 5 drivers yet to set a lap. 5 drivers yet to set a lap. So Gumbo, I assume he's going to save all his battery and go again the next lap. Paulie's still going down the back straight, so he's just taking it slow, warming those tyres up as much as he can. M-Bomb goes fastest with a 33.9 now. If he goes out and starts his lap above the 5-minute mark, I will just do it for you, Oxchillo. But if he doesn't, then I won't be able to. Sorry. And still lucky in P6 now. Got a few people on laps, I think. I think we got a Williams about to start his lap, so that'll be Paulie. I'll jump on board with him now. So you want to hit this apex and get the power down as soon as you get over that crest. Take a tight line here, stay in 7th through the S's. A lot of people have been dropping down to 6th though in tier 4. Goes in 5th, hits the apex again. He's going to want to swing in and hit this one as well. Take a wider line through here, which he does. Power on the exit, use all the track, be comfortable. Hit this little apex here, and here you want to brake as late as you can and get the car rotated early. He doesn't, he completely overshoots this corner. Power's down, he's got marbles all over his tyres. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a big time loss for him. Going down the back straight with DRS wide open. He's got a McLaren right behind him. I'm not sure if they're both on laps or not. Looks like they're trying to race each other at the moment. The McLaren's desperate to get past. I assume he is on a lap. He's just had a big snap though. Stuck behind Paulie. That'll be a lap for him ruined, but it won't be an impeding penalty as they are both on laps. So that's the thing. You're not impeding if you're both on laps. So he's coming around the penultimate corner. Looks quick. He's coming around the final corner now. He's going to want to get the power down as early as possible. Get the DRS open. Run to the line. And that stays down in the bottom 5 in P16 with a 37.1. Dark Phoenix now has moved up to P2. New champ in P5. Dark Phoenix has come here. He said he's had a lot of confidence. And currently he's sitting 2/10 off the pole, provisional pole time. Yes, both Ferraris are in the top 10, Manny. Gumbo is going to duck into the pits after another invalidation, so he's going to be chewing through tyres doing this. Unfortunately, that's the game, and I think we're going to have a new champ now, finishing up his lap, providing he doesn't invalidate. He's used all the track there. He's coming around the triple corner. Penultimate corner now, swings it in as hard as he can, bringing the car right to the curb. Not so much to unsettle it through the final corner, powering down, DRS open, up to 5th gear, and sits it in P4 with a 1:34.3. 2/10 off his teammates, so Red Bull in a very, very good position here. As Goffey is on his in-lap, we have a McLaren of Zachary also going in. Unless Goffey's going for another lap. No, he's not. Hi, Zachary as well. I think he's gonna... He's not on a fast lap. Just trying to find the closest person that is on a fast lap. War Machine. This will be his one and only run. M-Bomb's retired. He thinks he can't go any faster than he's already gone. Everyone ducking out of the pits now, apart from the people that are already out to stay out of the traffic. And Williams nowhere tonight. Missing a driver. I think Damo's the one they're missing. I think he got a race ban, so it's going to be tough for them and the constructors. It's going to mean a lot later on in the season. It's little points that make everything. Lucky starts his lap now. Casper ducks into the pit. Got people starting laps everywhere, so sorry if I don't keep up with everything. New champ will be starting a lap on 70% battery. Casper is out. He has retired in the pits, I believe. Pumpkin Wind goes up to P15 with a 36.9. Paulie retired. He can't go any faster, he says. It'll be new champ as well. Just looking to improve, looking to try and beat his teammate in a healthy way. And it's going to be not the AlphaTauri. Everyone's still just circling around the track. Lucky's looking to get a lap started. Gumbo Kebab's just set a purple sector 1. So after all his invalidations, he's going to want to look to be as quick as he possibly can. As we have a McLaren crossing the line. It's not War Machine. It's going to be Zachary starting a lap. Ferrari going slow, just moving out of the way of Gumbo. Who do we have now? We have new champ coming around the penultimate corner again. Using all the track there and he's invalidated. So he'll go into the pit. Goffey invalidated. That's him done. Got Meowcat around in the final corner. Where's he going to put that car? He's going to put it only in P7. Who else do we have coming around? We've got Matty Skills coming around the pits. And I'll keep an eye on the leaderboard as the Cub retires now, saying he cannot go any faster. So Matty Skills coming around the 3 corners. Gumbo Kebab does go fastest by 3/10. What can Matty Skills do about this? Can he put himself on the top step? Can he keep himself in the top 3? What can he do? He stays P4. Dark Phoenix gets spun around and he's going backwards to get out of the way, as he's got another car behind him. Lucky now. Battery off. Lap invalidated. That means we've only got Zachary left. What can Zachary do when he comes around this final corner? Can he improve on this time and get out of the bottom 10? He can go up to P11 with a 35.4. So there we have it. Gumbo, P1. M-Bomb after retiring stays in P2. Dark Phoenix in P3. Matty in P4. Wow. And then new champ. So we have Gumbo Kebab P1, M-Bomb P2, Dark Phoenix in the Red Bull P3, Matty Skills P4, new champ also in the Red Bull top 5, Goffey in P6, Meowcat P7, Lucky P8, the Cub P9, Some Nuts P10, Zachary P11, Casper P12, iZachary P13, Felty P14, Pumpkin Wind P15, Kirko 16th, Paulie 17th, Felzy 18th, and War Machine in 19th with no time set. So now we move to the intro. Okay, here we are then, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Texas. Welcome to the heart of the Lone Star State, where the air is thick and the engines are revving. It's the second round of Wallaby Season 6. It's a sprint round here in Austin, and it's the first of 3 sightings here in the States. As we return again in round 4 for Miami, as well as for the season finale under the lights in Vegas. As the legendary duo Tim McClure and Mike Blair once wisely said back in '85, don't mess with Texas. It's been a while since we returned to the Circuit Americas. We were last here in Wallabies normal season where Epifandy fought his way to victory. We had 28 laps around this 5.5 kilometre circuit, 20 corners, 11 to the left, 9 to the right. Passing opportunities with the aided DRS on turns 1, 11 and 12. Drivers will face a mix of high-speed straights and technical S's. The tyre compounds here for the United States Grand Prix are the hard in the C2, medium in the C3 and the soft in the C4. Oh god, that was a mouthful early on, but with many points on offer here today, here is the championship standings for Tier 4 after Singapore round 1. And now we come here on the formation lap. Gumbo Kebab leading the pack. He's, driving off into the sunset, as some would say. I wonder if that'll happen here tonight. This is the sprint round now. So I'll pull up the tyres for you all to see. And so, majority is on mediums, apart from some nuts in the AlphaTauri and Zachary also in the AlphaTauri. Maybe they know something we don't about the tyre life here. I'm really thinking the mediums are going to go the distance here. Just be that little bit stronger at the end. The softs are going to pack a punch early, so maybe they're thinking being in P10 and P13 that they can quickly get up. Oh god. That they can quickly get up and get through the field and hold their positions early on. Oh, was that you, Magic? Alright, as we line up onto the grid now, Gumbo Kebab, M-Bomb and Dark Phoenix in the top 3. Is Matty going to send a dive? Is New Champ going to send a dive? What's going to happen here? The suspense. Here we go. The engines are revving. The lights are about to go out. And it's lights out, and this is the beginning of Wallaby Tier 4 round 2 in Texas. We have M-Bomb sending it up the inside, but Matty has sent it, and he's on the apex, and he's in P1. Matty has fully sent it up the inside of 2 cars, cleanly kept it on track, and he's set it out in P1, and he leads the S's. But there's a few position changes, and there is a spinner at the back. It's War Machine and Felty Rabbit. Both of them must have tangled. It doesn't look like there's any damage here. But now they've lost a lot of places. There is a caution. Doesn't look like a safety car. So with 10 laps in this sprint race, it's looking like Matty Skills is leading the race. Dark Phoenix close behind Gumbo Kebab. New Champ just following him. The Ferrari P6. Goffey has lost a few places. Zachary on the softs up to P8 now. So I'll pull up the positions changed. And our biggest winner here is Original Paulie. F1 Original Paulie. As New Champ and Dark Phoenix do swap positions. The Carbon Paulie going at it. Paulie says he's not having any of it and he's just sticking to what he's doing. He stays ahead of the Cub. He's the biggest winner here with 7 positions up. Zachary up 5. Felty down 5. Matty Skills though up into P3. Gumbo Kebab just trailing behind now, 2.1 seconds behind M-Bomb, who's only 4/10 behind Matty Skills. The Rebels here just working together a little bit. New champ might think he can go a little bit faster than Dark Phoenix can. We got Zachary and Goffey now into the S's. They were going side by side, but we've got a 2-wide situation here between the Cub and some nuts, and there was a little bit of contact there, I think. Both drivers ended up going off track. I'm not sure about warnings. There were certainly no penalties here. It's all happening at the back of the grid now. I'm really interested to just see how long these softs are going to last for these people. I will pull up the tyres for you, Magic. So Zachary, he's going to need to, as the Rebels swap positions again, Dark Phoenix swoops around the outside of New Champ, probably working together in a party, trying to figure out what's going on. Oh, well, not in a party because Dark Phoenix doesn't even have a mic. I'm his team principal, I should know that. But he's not going to want to lose out to that DRS because that's going to keep him up. And if he can stick within it, he should be able to get Gumbo at some point in this race. The softs are expected to only last as Paulie and the Cub go side by side again. The Paulie stays ahead once again as the Cub just tucks in behind him. DRS is now enabled. This is going to bring for some interesting fights, but I think down the back in the bottom 10 we're going to have a little bit of a DRS straight between DRS train between around 6 or 7 cars. Some nuts just looking, having a peep as Lucky is spun. Lucky spun and lost half a front wing. The Cub also has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warning. There is no safety cars as of yet, which is great to see as War Machine now takes to the inside of Felzy. I'm not sure if Felzy has any damage. It doesn't look like it, but you can just see Matty Skills tearing off down the back straight there in the background. And it looks like M-Bomb is going for a move now with the use of this DRS. What's Matty going to do? Is he going to try and outbrake him, keep the inside? No, he's not. He's going to settle for P2, see if he can get back at him with DRS. Gumbo Kebab just reeling in that gap just a little bit with 1.7 gap now from 2.1. Dark Phoenix remaining in the DRS. New Champ has just fallen outside of it, but he's got Meowcat 1.3 behind him, also outside of DRS. Felzy now, first time in Wallaby to be racing, has got a 3-second time penalty. Looks like everyone's kind of settled down. There's a lot of people outside of DRS. It's not as close as it was at Singapore just this time last week. Looks like these softs are starting to wear off a little bit for some nuts, but Zachary is still putting them to good use. He's still got 6 laps to do on them, and the lifespan is about 6 laps for these softs. After doing my own testing, is Lucky gets a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting, but I reckon that will be removed. Because it was a pit lane entry corner cutting. Sometimes it can glitch out a little bit. So if you're listening, Lucky, clip that and get race director, and the stewards will probably have a look at it for you. As Casper now gets a 3-second time penalty. It doesn't look like there's any position changes that I can see. Matty Skills though is going for it on the around the outside of M-Bomb, but he brakes later and he outbrakes himself. So he's going to have to give that position back. He knows he's going to have to give that position back, and he has done. He hit the brakes there a little bit. Matty Skills just used a fair amount of his battery. Oh, and there goes Gumbo down the inside of M-Bomb. This is going to bring Dark Phoenix right into the thick of it. Had a look around the outside of M-Bomb just then. They've all used quite a lot of battery. They're all on about similar percentages. But Champ looks to be extending his gap, as Zachary did overtake Goffey. He looks to be extending his gap on the outcat behind and being brought right up into this battle with his teammate in the cars ahead, the leading pack. Oh, it is his second time racing, is it? Sorry. But Matty Skills now, he's breached the 1 second gap. So if he can do this in the sprint, if he can win the sprint and start on pole for the main race, as Zachary and Goffey now going side by side through the S's. Zachary out of battery, as you can see, he's got that red flashing light at the back of his car, also known as the rain light. He's just holding his own here. He's just outside of DRS. He's got no battery to get himself back in, as the detection zone is earlier on, but it looks like M-Bomb is going to go for a move here. And he has done. He's got past Gumbo. Dark Phoenix had another look. He's going to have a look up the inside here, and it looks like he's going to go for it. It's still side by side. He's backed out of it, but he's hit the switchback. Oh, it was close, as Felty Rabbit now gets a 3-second time penalty. Goffey and Zachary still going at it here. Goffey knows he's being slowed up by those tyres that Zachary has on, but Paulie's sent it, and he has pushed Goffey off the track completely. And that's cost Goffey 2 positions there. Zachary's now getting swallowed by the cars behind. He's getting hunted, and Sumnuts gets a 3-second time penalty. Dark Phoenix has had a spin. That's not good for the Red Bulls and their starting position, but they do have a very healthy gap behind, so it's only cost them a few positions. I'm not sure what happened there. I completely missed it on stream, but M-Bomb now has a 3-second time penalty. So if the 2 cars behind, Gumbo and Newchamp, can stay within that, they will both benefit and get on the podium, or high places on the podium, as Newchamp has now gone down the inside of Gumbo. Newchamp does not have a lot of battery to use though, and he does have the DRS to his advantage. He's done it after the line. That was a very, very smart play by him. He's made one defensive move. Lucky gets the fastest lap now, but I'm not sure it will count towards anything, as it's in the sprint and he's out of the points. But Newchamp will have to get a wriggle on now. Looks like our closest battle here is Goffey and Paulie. Sumnuts gets down the inside of Zachary. Soft runners are starting to struggle a little bit now that they're getting past. They're going to fall off the cliff in about 2 laps. I would be confident in saying. As it stands, we have yellow flags. Who is that? That's Zachary. He's had a spin on the longest corner on the circuit. Sumnuts looks to have looked after his tyres just a little bit better at the start compared to his teammate Zachary, and he's right up the clacker of him now. As Lucky gets another 3, and he gets a 3-second time penalty. He had a 5-second time penalty before. I'll bring up positions changed now and penalties. So as you can see, M-Bomb with 3 seconds in P2, the Cub with 3 seconds in P7, Sumnuts and Caspar in P11 and 12. Everyone from P11 to 14 has a 3-second time penalty. Felty in 17th. As we have an overtake here, it's Gumbo on Newchamp. Newchamp just backs out, hits the brakes a little bit harder, and allows for Gumbo to turn in. So there's only been 2 drivers who have made a stop. And here goes Zachary on Goffey. He's overtaken him. And they've dropped Sumnuts. I'm not sure if he had an incident or battling, maybe. And Newchamp's out. I just wonder, there's wing everywhere, and his wheel is gone. I reckon he's lost the rear. I'd be ducking in for softs. Anyone in this front pack, as Dark Phoenix now does, but that's not good for the Red Bulls. I mean, being a sprint round, you can always come back from it. There's a lot of cars staying out of the pits though, so Felty Rabbit drive through under safety car. I think his team principal's not going to be so happy. Dark Phoenix stays. He will only lose one position coming out of that pit lane on fresh softs as well. Paulie gets a 3-second time penalty and a safety car for multiple warnings. And he's let Dark Phoenix through, which is interesting. So as it stands, Matty Skills still leads the race with M-Bomb following closely behind under this safety car. Gumbo Kebab in P3, the Cub in P4, Meowcat in P5 with Ferrari up 2 positions and the Cub up 5. So these penalties are going to play into the hands of the likes of Matty, Gumbo, Meowcat and Dark Phoenix in the top 6, and of course all these penalties back here in P10, 11, 12 and 13 going to play massively into the hands of people who are trailing them. But I'll pull up the tyres now just so we can see who decided to go for the softs. So Matty, 7 lap old softs. They're going to have 2 laps of racing here. I reckon it's going to come in next lap. So these soft runners, especially in P5s and 6, are going to have a lot to do. They're going to have a massive tyre advantage. They're going to have a lot of grip. I mean, they had the space behind them to take the gamble, as the front runners didn't. So, we are racing now. So we've got Matty still leading. M-Bomb following behind. He's looking for a move here. Dark Phoenix is up to P4 ahead of Meowcat. It looked like someone got pushed wide there by an Aston Martin. Gumbo following, just losing out a little bit in the S's. He's losing major time, and Dark Phoenix is all over the back of him now. All over the back of him. He's going to look for a move down this DRS straight. Doesn't look like everyone got a decent chance to recharge their battery. Either that or they just burned it. You'd be saving a special... Oh, he's gone for a late dive here. There's been no contact and he didn't do it off the track. Meowcat now behind as well. Dark Phoenix is just looking at the back of these guys. He's just drooling from the mouth now, knowing that all he has to do is overtake Matty Skills to get this win. Dark Phoenix has left the session. Oh no. That is cruel. That is cruel. I'm not going to have time to invite him now, as Matty Skills starts the final lap of this sprint race. He's currently leading by 4/10. He's going to have it all to do down this back straight and in this first sector. Dark Phoenix drops to P5 now. Something that so easily could have been a win has been ripped out of his hands. And his skills is in the wrong gears. He's taking it too safe. And it's cost him a lot of time. The tyres are obviously not feeling great for him. But Meowcat now, he's hunting, and he's hunting. M-Bomb. He's looking. They're all out of battery, but there's no DRS either. M-Bomb is pulled out, and it's going to cost Meowcat the win, I think. Because as long as M-Bomb's in between those two cars, Meowcat's not going to be able to find a way through in the final stages. I think this is certainly the battle, but you have Goffey and Zachary battling for position, but I think we need to stay on this. Paulie up a position now, past Dark Phoenix's AI. And I think it's safe to say Dark Phoenix will lose another place or two, maybe 3. So it's going to be a comeback for him in the race. As Matty crosses line to win, Meowcat was right behind him, but just couldn't get it done. Dark Phoenix does cross the line in P5 still because of penalties. This late safety car threw a massive spanner in the works as Lucky's crossing the line now in P15. Pumpkin Wind will be next. I'm not sure what happened to these guys. I was too focused. But Cub and Maddie and anyone who stayed out on those medium tyres that didn't really lose any positions did an amazing job to do so. Because it's Caspar goes into the pit lane, so does Felty. 20-second drive-through penalties. I'll see if I can get Dark Phoenix invited in this off time. But what a race. What a race. And Maddie to win as well. So, I'll give you the results from the sprint. Maddie Skills wins and takes the round 2 sprint here at Texas. Meowcat in P2. Gumbo Kebab on his Tier 4 outing after being dropped from Tier 3 is in P3. M-Bomb P4. Dark Phoenix in P5. The Cub in P6. Zachary P7. Paulie 8th. Zachary 9th. War Machine 10th. Some Nuts in P11. Goffey in P12. Kirko in P13. Felzy in P14, his second race. Lucky P15. Pumpkin Wind P16. Caspar P17. Felty Rabbit 18th, and New Champ with a DNF in 19th. The only DNF of the sprint race. So I'm not sure if Dark Phoenix is coming back or not. Might have had some type of power outage. But we're on the grid. Well, the cars are on the grid. And it looks very sunny. I think the strategy, what do you guys think the strategy will be? I'm thinking hard, medium. People might do the double medium. There's no kind of clip to play over this, so I think, well, hard soft, yeah, that is a shout. People might be doing the soft hard as well. Like Oxilo just said, yeah, so now we are on the formation lap for a 28 lap race. And people, Maddie on the hards, Meowcat on the softs. Gumbo on the hards, there's a lot of different strategies here, so you never know what the second tyre for somebody's going to be. Maddie could jump onto the softs, he could jump onto the mediums. I don't think the softs are going to last very long, especially at the start of the race. So I think, yeah, pole on hards, Maddie. I think what he'll be aiming for is a late race advantage. I think that's what he'll be aiming for. Personally, I don't think, I think Meowcat's going to be a threat for the first 4 or 5 laps, and I think those softs are going to really start to struggle, especially on high fuel load. So what's your race predictions, everyone? I need to stop talking for a second. My mouth's getting really dry. Give me some race predictions in the chat. Globjet reckons med hard if you're at the front, and mid to below on the grid is hard medium. So yeah, I agree. I think it's all down to the confidence. You know, if you think you can outperform the other guys on hards, I mean, Meowcat's going to be the only threat, but it's not going to last very, very long. Like, he's going to be the only threat early on in the race. Matty P1, Phoenix P2, War P3. I think, Mushy, I used to have that same mindset. I was quickly shown by the faster guides that it doesn't work all the time. You kind of want that advantage at the end, so as we saw in Singapore and stuff, especially in the likes of Tier 1, people on the softer tyre at the end had a massive advantage, so I think that's something to look out for. But as we're rounding the final corner now, lining up to the grid, weaving about, trying to get some heat into those tyres, dragging the brake. I think this is going to be a race to watch. I think new champ on the softs in P19 after his DNF, he's going to have something to prove to himself. As M-Bomb gets disqualified for going too far forward on his grid. Kirko also disqualified for the same reason. And new champ as well. Right. And it's lights out, and it's the feature race. And Meowcat is going down the inside of Matty. He's not going to make it stick though. Matty cuts inside, he's aggressive. Paulie is up into P5, but he gets dropped back down to P6. There's a few position changes here. As we're looking at Matty's skills, he's holding the lead quite strongly here. I'm going to pull up the position changes. So we have Paulie, who's up 3 places. Gumbo Kapab, who's down 5. And it looks all pretty settled right now at the front. Everyone's kind of just having a look. But the two McLarens, we're going to go side by side, but War Machine thought better of it. Doesn't look like there's any spinners. There's no crashes. There's no front wing end plates anywhere along the track. And yeah, Lucky up 6 places. He's currently our biggest winner at the moment. And the two Alpines have swapped positions now. Meowcat now sits into the lead. Manny goes to turn in, but Meowcat's there. And he's had a little snap, and that's cost him another position to M-Bomb, who's going to have a look down the inside of Meowcat. That'll probably be an exceeding track limits or corner cutting penalty. Matty's having a look down the inside of M-Bomb. He's going to try and make it stick, and I think he's going to. It's very easy to stay. No, it's not. He hasn't made it stick. Dark Phoenix is up into P4 now. He is also on the hards. You've got Paulie and Izachary going side by side. Izachary, he's on the soft tyres again, so he's really making use of the softer tyre today. I wonder if he's opted for the softer compound as Gumbo goes right at the back of Cub. I'm not sure if that'll be a little bit of minor damage. He has gone off the track just a little bit there. And new champ putting those softs to work early on, getting past Kirko around the outside just before the S's come up. I think there's a move up here, Lucky on Gumbo, and he has. I reckon Gumbo has got damage. He has. He's missing a part of his front wing that I didn't see fly off. Lucky is flying. It's up into P7 now. It's sitting right behind his teammate. I'm going to pull up these tyres now, as we do have a yellow flag, and it will be Dark Phoenix. I'm not sure if he's got any type of damage. I didn't see what happened there. It doesn't look like he's got front wing damage. Maybe he just had a massive snap. Matty's skills now down to P5 after being overtaken. I think Paulie up into P3, that's massive for him. Jumping up so many positions. Now we have Meowcat and M-Bomb going side by side. Meowcat just takes the inside line. He's got that little bit of extra grip on those softs so far, but Meowcat knows those tyres are going to die very, very soon. Paulie just outside of DRS, which will be activated. And M-Bomb goes a little bit deep there. Meowcat sets the fastest lap of this race, which I expect to be broken. Gumbo jumps into the pits, so that's going to drop him all the way to last place and then some. Zachary down the inside of Paulie, but he's gone off. He went way too deep there. This is going to bring Matty Skills right up the backside of him. And he's actually going to send it. He's going to send it through here and try and stay side by side, and they have done. They haven't touched, but there has been 2 Aston Martins that have touched, and it's a very awkward place to go off the track there. Here comes Goffey now. There was a touch, there is a spin, there is a collision between Goffey and the Cub. The Cub's lost his front wing entirely. He's not out of this race. Can't see yet if it's a safety car or not. It's not, so there's moves being made still. All up and down the grid. Champ up into P13 now, following his fellow soft runner in P12, which is Felty Rabbit. DRS activated. And Sumnuts has got past Pumpkin Wind. Felty's having a look, he's sticking his nose in. He's gone down to neutral though, and that's just cost him so much. That's cost him that position. And New Champ is now past Casper. Or defending from Casper. Still in P13. We've got close activity going up in the top of the grid. M-Bomb already pulling out just at the start of the DRS zone. It's already through. So those softs are starting to fall off, and I think we're going to see it as we progress a few more laps on into this race. Zachary now past Paulie. 2 people into the pits, Lucky and Goffey, so they'll be looking for wing changes. And then the Carb as well, so this is not a good day for Aston Martin. Ferrari have a car in P2 right now, but he's going to start to fall off very, very soon. Felty now gets the 3-second time penalty. This is the first time penalty of this race. Only 4 laps in. Looks like Dark Phoenix is going to have a look down the inside of Paulie, who's gone deep again. We've seen that common trend. We saw it in quali. We've seen it in the sprint, and now we've seen it here. And that's just allowed Dark Phoenix to get the run on him, and I think it's going to allow Zachary to get it too. I think he's going to... was thinking about having a look down the outside of Dark Phoenix before those tires just fall off. But I think all these soft runners have done what they've needed to do. And I think from here, I think the double medium would be the call. Even they probably can't do that unless they didn't run mediums in the sprint. I think the majority did, apart from the 2 AlphaTauris. So that makes the strategy a little bit difficult, because now they're going to have to extend those softs as far as they'll go before the puncture point and get on those hards as late as possible. Obviously they still have a set of mediums to use, but they'll want to be saving them for the end if there's a late safety car. So our closest battle right now looks between Sumnuts and Zachary, and then Felty on Casper. Here he comes, and he's done it. He's done it. There was a little bit of contact as Gumbo Kebab goes fastest man on track. Sumnuts gets a 3-second time penalty now. I think I just caught the end of that track limits. And I think he's just cut it again. So obviously track limits are a big thing to look out for here, as Pumpkin Wind has had a spin. Doesn't look like there's any damage. Dark Phoenix has left the session again, so I'm going to have to try and get him invited once more. Zachary braked right in front of the Cub. Yeah, as a steward, both of us are stewards, so I think we'll both see it. Another position change. Casper on Felty, some nuts on Zachary. Paulie and Zachary now swapping places. There's a lot to look for in this race right now. Dark Phoenix is still not back, so this is costing. Here he comes now. This is costing him precious time. This has never happened before. I'm not sure if it's a lobby issue or if he's just having a. He might have a storm at his place. I'm not sure. He's lost another position to War Machine now, and he will be super frustrated at this as it's cost him multiple times. And Maddie, yes, Maddie is cooking. Sitting in P3, just climbing back into the DRS. I told you around lap 6 or 7, these softs are going to fall off rapidly. Here he is now. Within the DRS zone, I think it's only a matter of time. And Dark Phoenix gets 2 places. As we see them now going 3 wide. Dark Phoenix is backed out of that. I think he knows there was a little bit of contact and he said he's going to give that place back. I agree. I think this is Maddie's race to win. You know, he won the sprint. Basically led from the first corner, the exit of the first corner after its massive stand, and that's set him up for such a good race. I mean, 7.4 seconds is the gap behind Maddie, and he's hanging on to these guys in front on the harder compound tyre as well. Set himself up for a perfect race finish on these. He'll be on the mediums, and he's gone for a send down the inside into turn 1. Pretty sure I can pull up Race Director and just have a look quickly. So Meowcat was P2, Maddie was P1, and Gumbo was P3. Duck. Maddie's now pulled a second. There's yellow flags. Looks like Zachary, so those softs have fallen off the cliff completely. And when I was doing a little bit of practice, that's exactly where I lost the car on the softs after 6 laps on them. So now there's a move here between Zachary and Casper. Zachary gets through. Paulie and Dark Phoenix now going at it. Red Bull versus Williams. I won't lie, Magic did run my old team into the ground completely. Paulie's making up for it a little bit here in Tier 4. But he's had a snap, and that's going to open the door for Dark Phoenix to go down and stick his nose in there and get through. Little mistakes like that on equal tyres is what costs you everything. War Machine sitting in P4 though. He's run a great race. He's run a very, very good race of his own. I think he's just stayed out of trouble. He's on the medium tyre. He's set up for a traditional race strategy. I think he could be, you know, I think providing he doesn't make any mistakes, and there is a yellow flag. It is a Haas in the pit lane. He just smashed his wing off in the pit lane, I think. And now that pulls out of ESC. So that's going to help anyone that wanted to box or did box. I don't think anyone's gone in. It would have been nice for the soft runners to have some sort of ESC when they passed the pit lane. So that was nothing major. I think it's going to be a very tight overall constructors battle between the likes of, you know, Alpine, Williams and Mercedes. I think Alpine and Red Bull are only 10 points separated. Lucky gets a drive-through penalty just on that restart as well. In comes Dark Phoenix now. He's going to put it down the inside of War Machine. I think he's going to get it done. He is. So he's on a charge now. But he's used all of his battery, so he literally will be on a charge, trying to charge that battery and catch up to Meowcat as fast as he can. Because I think the closer he gets to him, obviously, the less of a free stop Meowcat gets. He's kind of got a good buffer, you know, he's got 2.9 in front, he's got 6.8 behind. I think he's set himself up really, really well to get those tyres to go as long as possible without losing too much to the guys behind. And he's in clean air, so he's able to just run at his own rate. He's not having to go side by side with anyone or try and defend any positions or get overtaken and be in dirty air. As we have more yellow flags, and it's Lucky. He's spun as Felsey gets another 3-second time penalty. So Lucky on the hards, 5 laps old. Those will be shot now after a spin. Zachary and Gumbo Kebab battling out for position. I think Zachary's done a really good job on these softs, but they are starting to really hit the cliff now. I mean, he's spun on these tyres, they're not going to feel great. He's going to lose a lot of confidence here, and like I said, lose confidence here and then you over push the tyre and it never ends well. So Felsey gets through. New champ in P8 on the softs as well. He's up 11 positions, I believe. It's good to see Zachary behind as well. So there's not really any close battles apart from Kebab and Caspar. Kebab goes down the inside now, and he's gonna get through. I think that's over and done with now. I think Lucky has had another spin just on those tyres. He's over pushed them too early, he's overheated them, and now he's spun on them a few times there. They're going to really, really struggle for grip. Kirko and the Cub after a little collision there. I think it was between Goffey and the Cub. Goffey now gets through Pumpkin Wind on the softs, who will duck into the pits. Let's see what tyres he puts on. As he takes it very, very cautiously into this pit lane, going way slower than he had to. That's going to cost him at least 3 or 4 seconds on its own. Looks like they got the mediums ready, so I think he's going to do a double medium. Or maybe another medium to soft if he's got another soft left. The softs will be better on a lighter car. Dark Phoenix has only brought that gap down to 5.3, so Meowcat's doing a very, very, very good job, and he hasn't dropped War Machine either. So I think he's just showing decent pace. You know, I think he's used a lot of his batteries, so he's not playing an attack or anything. I think he's honestly just driving as hard as he can. There's a battle back here between Felsey and Zachary. Zachary is getting a lot of screen time tonight. Obviously soon they'll be entering as Paulie pits now, which I think is early for softs. It'll be interesting to see what he jumps on. He's jumped onto the medium, so like I said at the beginning, a double medium strategy might really work for some people. It just means that they're going to have to push all race along and refrain from getting penalties. Everything will have to go to perfection for them. Casper just sitting out here on his own. 5.6 is the gap ahead. Zachary behind 2.8. You know, he's not facing a threat from Zachary on those struggling tyres. I mean, I'm surprised he stayed out on them after the grip has been so bad. You can just see the advantage the cars behind have. Paulie's going to be hunting. I reckon he's going to send it down the inside here. He's going to have a look. He's going to do it. But he's placing his car in a very, very awkward position for the exit of the corner. Should have just stayed as wide as he could, but the carb now gets 3 seconds worth of time penalties as well. Got a battle going on back here. It's going to be Kirko and Pumpkin Felty. So Felty overtook him after the DRS detection zone, and that's let him stay ahead. But Isaacery and Paulie, Isaacery, if he can defend this, I'll be gobsmacked if he can defend this against new mediums, but he can't. He just can't do it. Paulie stays within track limits. It's a legal overtake. That's good. It's good to see such good driving standards between other drivers tonight. I think, yeah, there is a lot of space between them, but there's only been a handful that have spun around, and I think New Champ and Meerkat and Isaacery are doing exactly what they need to do on these soft tyres, as New Champ gets a 3-second time penalty. Extending them as much as they can. They've done what they needed to do in the first part, in the first phase, where the tyres were gripped up and they were amazing. They've given them, all of them, except for Isaacery, have given themselves a buffer to extend as much as they possibly can. As we have an overtake here, Gumpo, Kebab, and Zachary. Gumpo just swoops past him on the back straight here. So he's made that look quite easy. He's got 2 laps tyre advantage. Remember, did he lose his wing? I'm sure he lost his wing when he came from the back after an early stop. If there was to be a DNF, one DNF, who would it be? There's New Champ and Meerkat both jumping the pits. So New Champ can jump on the hards now and probably take them comfortably to the end, but he's chucked on the medium set of tyres, so I'm not sure what his plan is here, because they're going to really struggle to go to the end, I think. I think they're going to die in the waning laps of the race. We have a few pitters. I'm going to pull up the penalties now, just to have a look. Okay, so Some Nuts is the highest placing right now. He's in P5, and as it stands, he won't lose a place with his 3-second time penalty. Then everyone else with penalties is between 10th and 15th. So Casper 3 seconds, New Champ 3 seconds, Felsi 9, Goffy 6, everyone else 3. So some repeat offenders. I think I know who it would be, Duck. Considering I've got a lot of experience with this person. If that doesn't point it out for you, then I don't know what else will. M-Bomb in the pits now. See these hard runners. Matty Skills retakes the lead of this race now. As Lucky gets a 3-second time penalty now, his first of the race. He's done 14 laps without a 3-second time penalty. And considering half the grid has them, I think that's pretty good. And Matty Skills, 8.7 seconds in the lead on complete merit. He's done an excellent, excellent job. I think the closest battle we have now is Isaacery and Kirko. Isaacery is just on a charge tonight with everyone. I think you have to put it into perspective. Dark Phoenix has left the set, has been kicked from the session a few times as Zachary does get the move done. Kirko just pulls out of going up the inside. Dark Phoenix has been kicked out of the session, which cost him at least 5 seconds alone, and he had a big spin or snap that cost him 4 or 5 seconds as well. So I think Dark Phoenix would have been up there with Matty. You know, he's pretty much matching him at this point. Felty Rabbit has left the session. I think I might have him added. I'll get him back in. Maybe not. I'll do it this way. As we have a VSC, what did I miss? This happens every time. As we have... What, do we have people ducking into the pits? Surely we have people ducking into the pits. We do. I need to take these penalties off and bring the tyres back up. Right, Goffey getting off those hards. He's putting 3-lap-old mediums on. All these other guys are jumping on fresh hards, so... Dark Phoenix box for new mediums. Matty, I think he might have... He's not stuck behind the safety car, so he can pit for mediums. He's just thrown a spinner in the works. At least they didn't get as lucky as retired. So that might keep the VSC out just a little bit longer for Matty to duck into the pits and get those tyres off, because if he doesn't, and he's stayed out. Never mind, he has ducked in. Interesting to see what he goes on. I think he knows he's got to go on the medium. And I think that is the medium. He has got the medium out. I'm not sure what his gap's going to be like though. Especially if the VSC ends now. It's going to be tight between these two. He gets out ahead and he's on a fresher tyre and a softer tyre as well. Dark Phoenix and Meowcat were going side by side just then. Oh, what? The actual safety car's out, but it says VSC. That's, okay, now it's changed. But, yeah, it is quite a bit darker. I wonder if there's any rain expected. That would certainly throw a spanner in the works. For everyone, if the rain started pissing down, that would be crazy. Yeah, probably not. I've just gotten word that there is no rain expected. No rain expected. not really just drivers catching up. I think the Cub is going to really struggle on those 12 lap old mediums. I'd be surprised if he didn't duck in the pit, and he didn't duck into the pit. So M-Bomb, where's M-Bomb? I can't find M-Bomb. Oh yeah, he's on 3 lap old hards. So we have a few late pitters. Like I said, these softs aren't going to last super long. And I think Pumpkin Wind's made the correct decision to jump on. Never mind, I would have stayed on the softs. Those mediums are 6 lap old. Oh, are we still not allowed to text and drive? We're just waiting for Pumpkin Wind to catch up. I'm not sure. I think it'll stay out another lap, which will really help these soft runners, Zachary, Gumbo, and Sumnuts, move up the field. I think Goffy, he'll be looking to move up the field again, but I don't think he's going to be able to with the 5 lap old mediums. He might be able to get past the likes of the Cub, but that, I reckon that's about it. So one more lap of this safety car, and then we'll be back to racing conditions. Yeah, Goffy as the car boxes. I thought he might box. And Casper's got a drive-through in P10. So that's ruined the Alpines race. Completely ruined his race. Some nuts 6 seconds. So we've only got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 drivers without penalties. Which is not ideal considering we have 18 drivers. And I'm not sure who this guy is, probably someone's friend, their friends list. I'll put tyres back up. And safety car will be in this lap. It's good to have a little break from talking just then. A little bit of... Oh, M-Bomb. Severe collision with Matty Skills. That's really going to help out the likes of Meowcat, War Machine, Paulie, and Dark Phoenix. He just tapped him. I reckon that will get removed. unless he has to pit again at some stage in the next 10 laps. So when is Matty going to go? When is he going to go? Is he going to go off the final corner? Or is he going to wait till right to the line? I think he's gone. Matty's gone. And he's bought himself 7/10 with that takeoff. So he's got 2 lap fresher mediums. And here goes Dark Phoenix down the inside of M-Bomb. There is a little bit of contact there, but they both stay on track. That's just hard racing. And he moves up into P2. I think he knew he had to get through early there if he wanted any chance of overtaking Matty and going for this win. So M-Bomb has already lost a second. It's going to be massive for these two up the front if they can break the DRS early. And M-Bomb, because Meowcat is already a second behind M-Bomb as well. These two have got the freshest tyres in the top 10. There is a spinner, and it's Gumbo. I'm not sure if he's lost his wing or not. He hasn't lost his wing. I'm not sure what happened there, but that's dropped into P17. So Alfa Romeo, Cruz, just stay calm. Don't do what I used to do. Goffey upper position now. He's lost it to Izachary again. Goffey and Izachary have had some battles tonight. I think there's battles everywhere. Zachary has got another 3-second time penalty. There's a little bit of ghosting between Felty and the car, but I think Felty might still not be in the session. I did invite him, but he never got back in, so he's out of the race. Dark Phoenix gets the fastest lap. I reckon that's going to remain for the remainder of the race. Felty Rabbit has now joined back. Dark Phoenix is lost. He's outside of the DRS zone. He's got 1.7 to M-Bomb, who's got 1.9 on Meowcat. I think this is working well for them. The top two, obviously, like I said, freshest tyres in the top 10. Gumbo Kebab jumps into the pits now for a new set of softs. I don't know how he has any. After all those runs he did in quali. That's dropped into the very back of the race, but I expect him to score the fastest lap now. War Machine within a second of Meowcat. Some nuts close behind him as well. I think we're going to start to see some moves when DRS is reactivated again. I think Matty's skills needs to be talked about as well. I think, you know, he's done a phenomenal job this whole race weekend, and you know, he's been searching for this win for so long, and it's been a long time coming for him. And if he can just keep it on the track the way it is now, trying not to give him the commentator's curse, but I think it needs to be spoken about. I think, you know, I think he's got the pace over Dark Phoenix today. You know, where it counts towards the DRS zone, as he just inches into the DRS zone now, the DRS gap. He seems to be a lot quicker than him in the S's, so I wonder if he's running higher wings. He just can't seem to get that exit, and when it's, you know, a 10th, it makes a massive difference. So we'll see if he tries to go for a move here. They've already got 3.5 behind, and M-Bomb isn't under pressure either, so they could easily finish this race with 10 seconds to the cars behind us. Casper now gets a 3-second. Jumbo in the pits again with some new softs. Paulie and New Champ side by side. New Champ gets the position. He's got 2 lap fresher tyres now. And yes, just a reminder, if you are a Sky Q or Sky Glass customer, you can watch all 20 onboards. I happen to be the owner of Sky Q and Sky Glass, so I just get everything, even telemetry. So that's a massive benefit for me. Looks like Dark Phoenix is... See what happens when you get into the DRS. He was 8 tenths behind, and now he was 4 at the end of that DRS zone. As we see another move, Paulie into the pits. Has he got damage? Is there a front wing waiting for him as Pumpkin Wind gets another 3-second time penalty? These time penalties are just race ruining. It's the battle of the penalties for these guys. There's not a front wing change. He'll just be jumping on the softs, and I'm not sure why he would do that so late into the race. It's going to really... Oh, there is a spinner. And it's Felzy. It looked like there was a little bit of contact on the map between him and maybe Pumpkin Wind. Yeah, Alpine is in the bin. I'm not sure if they had a great tier 4 round last week or not. I can't remember that far back. The Cub now on Goffey after a suspected collision with his own teammate that ended his race. He's now gotten past him. Well, Goffey, not his teammate. His teammate's out. War Machine right over the back of Meowcat now. He's just, I reckon it's only going to be a matter of time. Those hards are going to last a lot longer than those mediums will, and they'll drop off later as some nuts just goes a little bit deep, goes off the track there. I think that's what the cause of a lot of these time penalties are. That's right, Duck, you got 3 more tiers. You know, you're bound to have one bad race in one tier over a round, so you know, sometimes all your tiers have a bad round. Just means you're going to make up for it elsewhere. Dark Phoenix hasn't managed to get past Matty. He's sitting on about the same battery as him as well, so Matty just burning at the right spots. He's quick in the right spots. War Machine now might be having... I think he's going to go for this. He's not burning. He is now. He's burning late. Going for a late move. And he's got it. Squeezed him a little bit and he's got the move done. I honestly think Matty will have this in the bag. Battery of the top 2. 29% for Matty, 29% for Dark Phoenix, so they both got the same amount of battery. Neither of them are really using it. I think they know what they've got to do, so 6.4 seconds to M-bomb. I think being on these mediums is really helping them, as the medium is such a way better race tyre, especially at the end. You know, you can have the same age, you can have a new medium and a new hard at the end of the race, and honestly, like I said, I think 10 seconds is about the time you'd pull. Oh yeah, 100% they're pushing, but I'll pull up those pens, but they're not pushing, you know, as hard as they can. I don't think. I think they know they're just working together to build the biggest gap they can right now. But Dark Phoenix is all over the back of him now. I think he's going to go for it. He has gone for it. And that'll be, I think Matty will be using everything he can to get back at him for the remaining laps of this race. I think they've both got the pace to win. I think it's just who uses their battery better. Who places their car in the best spot. You thought this was Magic Shot the whole time. Dark Phoenix had a little snap there. Sorry I'm focusing so much on the top two, it's just not, there's not a whole lot of battling going on down the back as everyone's on uneven tyres now. He is much quicker in the corners as Carb backed out of that, and that was very, very smart of him to back out of that. Here's the tyres, Magic. Like I said, he's way quicker in the S's, and I think that's just, I think he's running a higher downforce setup, and you see that exit he got there was just phenomenal. His tyres are just one lap older, so I think this could come down to the final lap. I think, Dark Phoenix is spun. And that's going to end that for him. He's lost the win well and truly now. We've seen him spin a couple of times. We saw him spin in Singapore. Seems to be a little bit prone to it. Now he's lost that massive advantage he had to M-Bomb. I just wonder if he's still got pace in hand to get him out of DRS after that spin, because I think a lot of that pace will be gone now. Well, I can't believe it. Matty's actually, if he doesn't bottle, he's actually going to get this win that he wanted. So long, for so long. Matty Skills leading by 7.8 seconds. That's what you've tuned into. Matty's been leading most of this race. He's done an excellent job. Like I said, I reckon that might be Goffey, Magic. It's either Goffey or Kirko. I just can't. 8.4 seconds now is the gap. Dark Phoenix, his tyres are shot. He's got 2 laps to go. He's burned all of his battery. I think he knows he doesn't have to drop M-Bomb. I think he knows he doesn't have to put up too much of a fight. Can't forget, I have forgotten a lot about the battles that have been going on down here. Dark Phoenix gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits now. So if he does get overtaken, he is in real trouble. He is in real trouble if he does get overtaken now. War Machine has been wanting this move, he's been setting this move up, he's been not using his battery so much. You know, War Machine's actually had some really, really crazy pace. And I think if he gets him now, he can have a decent shot at Meerkat. With all that battery that he's got compared to Meerkat, if you look at his steering wheel. War Machine has about double. All he needs to do is get within a second remain competent, and get it done. And Bomber's pulled so much time. So we had the Cub and Felzy spin together, I think. Some Nuts gets another penalty. War Machine just needs to break into that DRS this lap. And he's going to have to burn it all. Burn it all. M-Bomb gets another 3-second time penalty. So this is going to really help out Dark Phoenix now, as he probably won't have to pass him again. Matty's just backed off a little bit. He's chilling out now. You know, he's just doing the final lap, doing the rounds, taking one last good look at this track before he brings it home and takes his first Wallaby victory of the season. Felty Rabbit, another 3-second time penalty. You know, I think a lot of people are getting close to getting disqualified. We have Dark Phoenix now. He's going to pull out to the inside of M-Bomb. It's the final lap of this race. Probably the final overtake we're going to see. But you can't take the limelight off this man. The guy who has led all of the sprint race. Qualified in P3, I think, for the sprint. He's led most of this race now. He's been there the whole time. He's coming around the final corner now. And it's going to be Matty Skills to cross the line and take his first Wallaby win of Season 6, Round 2 in Texas. Followed by Dark Phoenix in the Red Bull and M-Bomb in P3 in the Haas. Meowcat's going to follow. Meowcat's going to take that position now, thanks to M-Bomb's extra time penalty. New champ is going to move up to P6 after starting P19. Be interesting to see what these penalties do. But man, what a race that was for Matty. I mean, you can't help but be so happy for him. Zachary gets moved up to P9 after penalties. P10 now because Paulie. So many penalties are changing the outcome of this race. Most of the time, wherever you finish, it's not where you're actually going to end up on the leaderboard. So it's going to be the Cub, Gumbo, and then Felsi. Just all shy of points. Wow. Whew, what a race. What a race from Matty. What a race from everyone, really. I mean, the driving standards were crazy good. I think, you know, they all did a fantastic job. So, I'll run down the results of the weekend. We Matty Skills, who brings home the most points, followed by... Actually, no, I won't do that. I'll run through the race. Matty Skills in P1, Dark Phoenix in P2, Meowcat in P3, M-Bomb P4, War P5, New Champ P6 from P19 on the grid. Seems like a Red Bull thing to come from P19. Some Nuts in P7, Zachary P8, Paulie P9, Zachary P10, Goffy P11, Kirko P12, Felty P13, Pumpkinwin P14, Casper P15, Gumbo 16th, the Cubs 17th, Felsi in P18, and Lucky, our only DNF. We only had 2 DNFs today, and that was New Champ and Lucky in the sprint race and race feature race respectively. But I will just mention that Matty did score the most points. So we had, yeah, he did score the most points. He got both wins. Qualified P3, or P4 even. So, yeah, I'll get them in for interviews now. Do I do the race interviews, or do I do... Which interviews do I do? Just the race? The main race? Either way, I'll get Maddie in. I know that Dark Phoenix can't. And Meowcat can't, so it's just Maddie today. Weekend interviews, so... I can't remember who was second and third in the weekend.
Just do the race.
Yeah, I will do. It's just you anyway, so...
Really?
Well, yeah, I'll kick it off with just you. It's just you. Makes my job easier.
Just me. Doesn't anyone, is everyone else on computer?
Well, Dark Phoenix doesn't do interviews.
Oh.
Meowcat, who finished P3, was on EA, so include your audio, Maddie.
Yep. Done.
Right. Well, you qualified P4 for the sprint. You took the lead in turn 1 and never looked back. And then you started on the hards from P1 in the feature race, and then basically just stuck with the leaders, let the faster guys through for the first stint, and then took off in the final stint. And I think, did you have a massive smile when you saw the Red Bull Dark Phoenix spin in front of you in the waning laps?
Man, I was spewing for him, like, my heart broke for him, but to be honest, I don't care. I popped the champagne. No, I'm just kidding. I knew, like, I feel like we were, like, pretty similar. I don't know if he was going to take off into the sunset or not, but we were both on mediums, and I was going to stick behind him until the last lap. Because I know there's just that massive DRS straight, and if I could just keep in DRS until the last lap, and then take that on the last lap, that was my plan anyway. It might not have worked, but that was my plan.
So, run us through your mindset through the whole race. Like, what were you thinking throughout the race? What were you thinking when you had that massive nearly 10-second gap? Were you stressing out? Were you confident? Were you just thinking lap by lap, or what were you thinking?
I was thinking lap by lap. I got a bit of a gift in the sprint race going up on the inside, and then I don't know how I got through, but everyone braked really early, so I don't know, I just got through, and then I got lucky in the sprint, and then in the feature race, I got spun in hairpin on lap 1, and then my plan was just like I was within 3 seconds of New Bomb. You say his name? New Bomb? Bomb? Whatever. Bomb? Yeah.
Bomb.
And he just wasn't making any mistakes, man. Like, it was really annoying me. But I was like, I figured if I could just stick within 3 seconds, the hards would come good. But even on old mediums, like, he was just racing like a champ, man. Like, he was just putting in the same lap times, like, lap after lap. So it was just, all I said in my head was, it's a practice session. Like, just nail the apex every time. So I was just lap by lap the whole race, pretty much, man. You know?
Yeah, and the other thing that saved you at the end when the safety car came out in the feature race was the fact that you started on the hards and not the mediums. It meant you had a fresh set of mediums when, you and only Dark Phoenix had a fresh set?
Yeah.
Everyone else was on used mediums or used hards, so that really, really benefited you.
Oh, man, I was going around the safety car going, this could have been opposite if I started on meds. You know what I mean? I would be on hards.
Exactly.
And I was like, when M-Bomb went in, because I'm like, man, when are you going in for these hards, you know? Like, get out of my way. I was like, just praying for a safety car. And then it was a virtual, and I'm just praying for it to turn into a safety car, and it did, man. It's just like, so I got really lucky as well. But yeah, I feel for Dark Phoenix, man, because he had pace, and he seemed like he had a really good race. Like, just managed his race really well. I could see him getting a little bit slidey, so I was like, just keep the pressure, and hopefully he'll just put the foot down too early and make a mistake, and he did.
Yeah, well, to top it off, I just think you did really great. Everyone was cheering for you in the chat, and I think that move on lap 1 in the sprint race really, really solidified what happened tonight. So I think you should be happy with yourself and go and do a shoey in your kitchen.
And a massive shout out just to you, Lefty, just for help with setups and help with strategy and just jumping in practice sessions, man. Couldn't have done it without you. So thanks so much. Really appreciate you, man.
All good, man. And I think we'll move on to P3 sitter Meowcat now. You know, you got bumped up into P3 in the feature race after penalties from M-Bomb. Run us through your race, your quali, your sprint, how you felt, and what you were thinking.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad really. Yeah, I think M-Bomb might get that place back upon review. Stewards, but we'll see what happens there. But yeah, pretty good race. Good work by Matty to win it. Driving from him, we had a bit of touchy early on in the race, but obviously had the better strat and better pace and pulled away. So yeah, War Machine had a bit of pace too. Went past me late in those hards when I was on pretty dog water mediums rather. But I've managed to get past him, keep the DRS straight, and pull into what is now P3. M-Bomb was too, and same with what's his face, Dark Phoenix, was it? Not too bad, but yeah, pretty clean racing all round, pretty good moves, and pretty considerate driving. Can't be too disappointed with the points I get, and all thanks to Birdie's setup. Really, Birdie helped me out. Yeah, pretty good. Happy.
Yeah, I think I've got to commend the whole of Tier 4 for their driving standards tonight. I think it was just amazing. You know, there was a few, spins here and there from, but mostly it was from people on their own. I think there was one or two that was caused by someone else or a collision with someone else. Mostly it was just hard racing, a little bit of wheel banging, but nothing more. So I think the whole of Tier 4 needs to be commended for that.
Yeah, there's no
I
real
think you
silly
drove a
moves
great
going
race
on.
as well.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, cheers, man.
So I think that'll be all for tonight. That's been round 2 of Wallaby Racing League Tier 4. Have a great night, everyone.